Hi everyone. In this video, we will be solving the problem encode and decode tiny URL. So this is quite interesting and easy problem. So you all would have seen this tiny URL kind of service where we just provide the long URLs and it returns the shortened version for those URLs that I can use in place of long URL. So today we will be implementing the same. We have to implement the same in this question. So we are given that we are like here we are given the statement that there is no restriction on how your encode decode algorithm should work. You just need to ensure that the URL can be encoded to a tiny URL and the tiny URL can be decoded to the original URL. So it means like you can use any algorithm to generate the shortened URLs, but you should be able to get back to the original URL from the sorted version that you generated for that long URL, right? So an example is given over here. Let's see this example. So here this was the long URL for which you generated this shortened version, right? So if I'm given a long URL, let's see how we can generate the shortened URL for this long URL, right? So like as this is a URL, so uh, this would be identifying some website or some web page uniquely. So I should be able to do the same, right? So I should be able to generate some URL that should be unique, that should be able to uniquely identify that website or web page which this URL identifies, right? So how will I do this? So for every unique long URL, I should be able to generate the unique shortened URL, right? So how will I do this? Let's see that. So for this long URL, I will be generating a unique code, right? A unique code which will be smaller in length, and I will map that unique code to this long URL. So let's not think how will I generate that unique code. So I will be using some algorithm, and let's say I just use some algorithm and I have generated the sorted version, a sort code, which sort unique code which I can map to this URL, right? So whatever code I will generate, whatever unique code I will generate, so I will just map this that code to this particular URL. So instead of this long URL, now I can use this code. So the same thing same thing I have done over here. For this long URL, I just generated a code that is 4E9IAK, and I just appended this code after this tinyurl.com. And now instead of this long URL, I can use this shortened version URL, right? Okay, so let's see how will I generate the unique code. So for generating the unique code, I can just I will use some set of characters. I will use the uppercase letters, lowercase letters, and digits from 0 to 9 to generate the unique code, right? So here, as you can see that I have taken string, and this string I have taken some characters. I have taken the digits from 0 to 9. I have taken all the uppercase letters and I have taken lowercase letters. So what will I do? I will just let's say I will generate a code of size 5. So what I will do, I will just pick randomly 5 characters from this string, and using those 5 characters, I will generate a code, right? So as I have done over here, like I have taken some digits, some uppercase letters, and some lowercase letters. So I will just generate a code of length 5, and uh, you, I will generate a code of length 5 in which each character will be either a digit, a small case letter, or uppercase letter, right? So once I have generated a code, I will simply map uh, this particular this long URL to that particular sort code that I will generate, and I will again map this shortened URL to the long URL because I have to decode this shortened URL also, right? In the decode function, I should be able to if I will be given this shortened URL, I should be able to get back to the original URL. So I will map long URL to short URL, and I will also do the reverse mapping from shortened version to long to the longer version, right? Okay, now let's implement this and let's write down the code for this. So as I told you, we will be taking two hash maps. The first hash map will map the longer URL to the shortened version, and the second hash map will map the shortened URL to the longer URL. So I will create two unordered maps. Let's name the first map as URLDB. So this URLDB will basically map the longer URL to its corresponding shorter version, and I will have one more URL, one more hash map. Sorry. So this map will map the shorter version URLs to its corresponding longer version URL. Right. Now I need to write down a function for generating the unique codes that I will be using in the shortened URLs. So it will return a string. Let's name this as generate code, and this function will basically generate a unique code, and I will append that unique code after this http tinyurl.com as I have done over here, and I will simply return that. So whenever I need to generate a unique code for any long URL, so I will be calling this function. So let's generate a code. So initially code will be empty. As I told you, for generating the code, I will randomly pick the 5 characters from this string that I have defined over here. So I will randomly pick the 5 characters from this string and generate the code. So let's write down the loop to pick the 5 characters. So in each iteration, I will be picking a character and I will append that character in this code. So code plus equal to for picking a random character, I will use a rand function. So this rand function is a predefined function in C++. It will randomly generate a number for us. So I will do characters of, I will call this rand function. And this rand function can generate a very large value, but like I have just 62 characters over here. So indexing will be from 0 to 61. So to handle this case, I will just do mod 62. So this will now this will already generate a number in range 0 to 61. So in each iteration, it will keep on picking a number, keep picking a it will pick a character and append that character in this string code, right? So at last, I will be having this. I will be having. I will generate a 5 length code. Now I just need to append this code after this link that is given over here. So I will just write down this link, and I will append this generated code after this, and I will just return this. So this function will generate a code and return the uniquely generated you return the code that I generated, right? Now I need to write down the function for encoding. So it may happen that that this long URL for which you have generated the code, it may happen that you will get the same URL for which you have already generated the code. So now I do not need to, like, for one URL I should not be having the two shortened URLs. So I will check that condition first, that if I would have already generated the shortened version for this long URL, so I would be having the entry in this URL database. So I will check there first. Sorry, if URL db dot find long URL, if it is not equal to URL db.end, it means this value exists in this URL db map. So it means I have already generated the code for this particular long URL. So I will just return that shortened version that I have previously generated. This time I will not generate the new sorted version for this long URL. Return URL db of long URL, right? So if previously I have not generated the shortened version for this long URL, now I will generate this, right? So I will generate a code, a unique code. So for generating the code, I will just call this generate code function that I just defined over here, right? So as in this generate code function, I am just randomly picking the 5 characters and appending those 5 characters after this particular link. So there is a possibility that multiple times, although the probability is very less, but it may happen that multiple times I just generated the same code. So for each unique long URL, I need unique shortened URL. So I cannot just make two same shortened URLs for two different long URLs. So I need to keep check of this. So I will check that if I have used this code previously for some other URL, so I want to generate a new code. So I will just keep a check of this. So I will say if if I have already this I if I already have used this code for some other URL, so this time now I will not use this. So if this condition is true, this means I have already used this shortened code for some other URL. So I just need to generate a new code again. So I will again call this generate code function. And this time I will just get the new code and I will again keep on checking for that code. I will do like in every step, I will keep a check. I will do a check that, that code should not be used for some other URL. So finally, once this loop is over, I will be having a unique code that I can map to this long URL. So I will just uh, do the mapping. So I will say URL dp of code. Sorry, in URL db, I will map the longer URL to the shortened URL equals to code, and I will also do the reverse mapping. And here, as I need to return the encoded string, so I will just return this code that I generated for this long URL. Right now, so in this decode function, I just need to return the corresponding original URL for this shortened URL. So I will I have already mapped the shortened URL to their corresponding original versions in this code db map. So I will just return the corresponding value. So let's run this. Okay, it's working fine. Let's submit this solution. Okay guys, it got accepted. So that is all for this video. Thank you so much.